Girl, bye. Not this.
Hey, é o salame, babak no papier, é o salame, zinzal bem, é o salame, hey, hey. Hey.
Hi guys, my name is Indigo. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today we're going to be talking about 8 makeup products that you do not need. Now I'm not going to be singling out any brands or anything, but more like makeup steps that just don't make sense or are overhyped to the point where like you think you need them, but you really don't. So before we get started, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on post notifications, and let's get started. So first and foremost, you actually don't need any makeup at all, obviously. Makeup is just for fun, or just like for like an extra oomph. Nobody actually really needs makeup. So that's just like my full disclaimer, but like what I'm gonna talk about is mainly more like efficiency and like whether it truly works or not. So like, tea. So first and foremost, we have a primer. Now, I feel a lot of different things when it comes to primer. I feel a lot of different ways. At first, I hated it. I didn't believe in it at all. Then I liked it a lot. And then now I'm just like, I do it sometimes, but sometimes I don't. I didn't wear it today. I'm just fine. I've had this makeup on for a couple hours now. She's not going anywhere. There's a lot of primers that claim to do a lot of different things. I really don't believe it.
Why y'all got to lie?
I think all you really need is like a very silicone-y type of moisturizer or something like that, and it'll do like the same thing. If you do your skincare, you already are priming. You don't need an additional step to do that for you, especially one that's like $68. That's ridiculous. But I'm not gonna sit here and say that primer is completely useless, because that's a lie also. I particularly like the mixture of the Tatcha Silk Canvas and the Hydro Grip Primer. Put them together, put the Tatcha on first and then Hydro Grip Primer afterwards. Baby, your makeup is going to glide on so freaking good. Do you need it? No, you really don't. Some skin types do, but for the most part, it's just kind of like a placebo type thing. If you moisturize, you'll be just fine. The next thing we have is bronzer and contour. Now, let's be honest, they're cute, they're fun, they're a moment. I have a lot of it piled on my face right now, but you don't need it, especially if you aren't doing like a full beat. The only reason I really like to use bronzer and contour is because when I apply a lot of foundation, like a full beat moment, if I don't do that, my face is going to be really pale and it's not going to make sense with my neck or my hands. So I really like to bring that color back into my face and just kind of give my face a lot more dimension that I lost. If I'm running late somewhere and I just need to put on some makeup, I'm fully going to skip bronzer and primer. It is not really that necessary, and trust me, as much as I would like to think that people notice my contour and are like, oh my god, look at that blend, look at, people aren't going to notice if you're not wearing bronzer or contour, I promise you. So yes, this falls in the category of makeup that you don't really need on the daily basis. So I love her, but I have to admit, she's kind of useless. The next thing is setting powder. Now, once again, this is obviously more for like a very niche type of makeup. You don't need to use this every single time you wear makeup, let alone even wear it at all for some skin types. If you have very dry skin, you probably don't need to set your makeup at all. You have to be realistic with yourself, and you also have to be realistic with your expectations. And the reality is that setting powder is just simply not for everyday type of makeup looks, unless you are doing like a full beat every single day and you're gonna be in front of a camera like I am. If you don't live in like a very humid climate or a very weathery climate, or you're not gonna go run, sweat, jump, like perform or anything, you don't really need setting powder. I think maybe if you do need to use it, you probably need to use it like underneath the eye if you conceal like right here, or like around like smile lines or forehead lines. But if you don't experience that, then why buy it? Adding on to the whole little setting family, we also have setting spray. Now this one, I've kind of kept my whole idea on it pretty much the same. I didn't like it at first, then I thought it was kind of pointless. Now I use it, but I still feel like it's kind of pointless. I feel like my makeup does last me like a little bit more if I do use it, but quite frankly, I don't see like that much of a difference, and sometimes setting powders can actually leave a very greasy film on my face that I'm not a fan of, and I end up having to use setting powder to fix it, and sometimes it doesn't even do that. Obviously, if it works for you, then it works for you, that's amazing, but if it doesn't, you don't need it. If you guys are in the market for a setting spray, I think hands down my favorite one that has really never let me down, which is like a huge cult favorite, is the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. I believe it's like $22. It kind of lasts a pretty long time, but that's the only one that I truly have felt like it actually locked in my makeup. It didn't cause any like dispersing, any type of weird creasing, and it did not leave me greasy. I really do like that one. But even then, I still feel like Number five is highlighter. Oh my gosh, please do not use this in real life, and if you are, be very subtle with it. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen people put on blinding highlight and it just looks really off-putting in person. I'm sure you guys have seen me with a cast at least one time in this channel for sure. I've tried to find like a highlighter that does not leave a cast, but I feel like every single one just leaves like a little bit of something, and even if it doesn't, you have to be very careful with highlighter because if you go just like a little bit overboard, you can start looking greasy or just not good. And like right now, as we speak, I'm actually not wearing any highlighter on my face at all, and I really feel like my makeup is complete. Like I feel like I could probably benefit from putting like a little bit of highlighter over here on my nose and stuff, but it's not necessary. This is especially true if you do have problematic skin or you have a lot of skin texture. If you have a pimple or if you have any type of like skin indents, it's going to show a lot more with highlighter. It's going to highlight the things you don't want to highlight. The next one is kind of controversial because a lot of people do like this one, but I feel like in a practicality standpoint, this one you can kind of fly by without, and that is lipstick. Right here, I'm only talking about nude lipstick if you aren't going to do like a full face. I feel like I can totally wear this face right now that I'm wearing right now without this lip and I will look just fine. I don't really think like I needed this lip, but obviously I did want to put it because I do like it, but I don't think it's that necessary. And sometimes you can really just get away with just wiping off like the excess powder and foundation in your lips, calling it a day, and more often than not, it looks like you have a full face with like a nude lip on. Just apply like a little bit of a gloss and you'll be set. Number 7 is color corrector. You guys have heard me talk about this time and time again. If you do not have a beard, like a very noticeable one, if you do not have like discoloration on your face that's like very noticeable, we're talking about like a bruise or like some like a lot of hyperpigmentation, you don't really need a color corrector. It doesn't do as much as people really think that it does, and you can actually only use color corrector with full coverage foundations, which don't you think it's a little sus? Because if something only works with a product that completely masks it, don't you think it doesn't work? I don't really know. I've never really believed in it. For the majority of people, you really don't need a color corrector, and I promise you, you're wasting your time, and I promise you, it's probably contributing to making you look some type of orange, yellow, purple, or green. Maybe the green one I actually will kind of like, I kind of do like because a lot of people do have redness, and a lot of people do want to get rid of it, but more often than not, it's really not necessary unless... yeah, no, it's really just not necessary. The last one is kind of like a little gag and a bonus because I did kind of want to scare you guys and give you guys something a little controversial. We're talking about like a little scandal. And I'm gonna say foundation. When my skin is on its good days, which is like not right now because I am moving and I'm stressed and everything is so stressful right now. But when my skin is actually doing just fine, I don't need any foundation and it looks like I'm wearing foundation. All I need to do is apply like a little bit of concealer over here to just kind of like push this out, and I do the rest of my routine like everything normal. So I'm gonna say something's a little controversial because obviously some people do think that their foundation is very necessary and like the ultimate requirement because we do have a lot of people who have hyperpigmentation and acne and whatnot, and they do want to get rid of it, and that's perfectly normal. But if your skin is good, why are you wearing foundation? Like, why are you hiding like what you got, you know? So yeah, guys, that is my 8 makeup products that you don't really need. They aren't really that necessary, and obviously all makeup isn't necessary. You don't need makeup, but these are the kind of things that you can really get away with not using and still get a very similar effect. Did you guys agree with this list? Why or why not? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys like my art, if you guys like my energy, please like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on post notifications, and I will see you guys in the future. Bye-bye!